Welcome to episode 3 of Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK. And today the weather is grey and wet. It's been grey and wet all weekend. Right, today I'm trying to film using my laptop instead of my tablet, so I'm hoping the quality of the film will be better this week. Although I'm very bright, so I'm hoping I can perhaps change that in the editing, but if not, I will just look ghost-like, so I'm sorry about that. Right, let's get on. Let's start off with knitting. I snuck a little extra episode in last week because I finished my sweetheart hat. Is it Sweetheart Love Heart? I think it's Love Heart hat from Tyddyn Bryn. I was doing a test knit for Ellie, and here it is. I did decide in the end to put a pom-pom on, and I know it's covering the lady's face. She's got a very small head. So anyway, I put it on there so you can see how nice it looks. And the yarn I used was Stylecraft Alpaca DK in toffee, cinnamon and olive. I think I know how to put notes under the YouTube video, so I might put them under there. If it's a matter of just typing under, then that'll be fine. I'll do that. So I'm very pleased with that hat. I wear it a lot, and it's also machine washable, so it's very handy in our wet weather. I also have another finish object. I finished the little jumper that I was making for my daughter's friend in where she works, and the pattern I used was this one, and there it is. Getting used to this camera now, and it just is made in Snuggly Sirdar Snuggly Crofter DK, and it doesn't have a name. The pattern just says sweater, hat and blanket. So, but I made one of those for my little grandson when in the same colour when he was little, and it's really lovely. The wool is snuggly and cuddly, and he's snuggly and cuddly anyway. And then I made a little tag just so that I can add on. Oh, I think that's backwards. Oh dear. That I can attach so that the lady who has it knows that actually you can wash it, because some people think because it's hand knitted that they can't stick it in the machine, but when you've got a little baby, I think it's important that you can put it in the machine and not have to worry about hand washing things. So there are my two finished objects, and I've forgotten to get my Georgetown. I've made a little bit of progress on my Georgetown. On the sleeves, I'm playing a game. Is it called Yarn Chicken? Because I have sewn down here of this arm, and then I had one ball left, and I don't know if you remember, I said that I ran out of yarn and I had to order some more, and the only place you could get it from is Love Knitting, and so I ordered some more, but when I bought the bulk of the yarn, it was in the sale, and then when it ran out, it wasn't in the sale. So it's proving quite expensive. So I've got one ball left, so I'm going to knit down to the length I have done on the other sleeve. I keep calling them arms, but they're sleeves. Arms go in the sleeves. I can't even find the other sleeve now. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to knit it down that far, and that's a sort of 3/4 length, and then if I've got enough, obviously I'm going to do just a cuff the same on either side, and hope it just eats yarn. The yarn I'm using is the Austermann. Like last time I just didn't give the right details, and I think these are backwards now. Austermann Merino 105, and the colourway is 332. Not very inspiring. And the pattern is the Georgetown, and it's by Hannah Fettig. I have written notes. I write notes every week, but I put my glasses on so I can actually read the notes because it's more practical to be able to read them as well as just write them. But I kept adding things, so I don't know if you can see they are a little bit messy, but hopefully I'll be able to follow them. So they're my finished objects and my work in progress still. And for my next project, I haven't started it yet, but I've planned it. You might recognise this yarn from one of my previous episodes. It's the yarn that my son sent me from New Zealand, and it is Wild Earth Yarns. There we go. And it is in the Granite and Stone colourways, and I think they're natural colours, so they're not dyed. Natural colour of wools. Sorry, my camera memory was full, and I waffled on for ages to myself, so I'm trying to backtrack to where I think I was. So I was just showing you the yarn that my son had sent me from New Zealand. And I don't know whether I mentioned the pattern before or not. It's the flip flop by Tyddyn Bryn, which she kindly gifted to me for test knitting her Love Hearts hat, not Sweethearts. So that was the end of that. I'm trying to think where I was now. So that was my new project, and I don't think I mentioned. You know, I had everything over there and I've moved it over this way. So it's messed me up now. One of my other projects I'm planning to do is all my circular needles I keep in this bag, and they're a bit of a mess. And I bought a little gauge here because some of the interchangeable, the little needles themselves, I can't see. I think it's usually the Symphony Wood ones. A couple of those, I can't see the size of the needle on them, so I need to sort them out and then make a little file like Catherine at Afternoon Treats, her last podcast. She was saying about how she's organised hers, and I'm going to do something along those lines, I think, but perhaps not as in detail as hers is, but something along those lines. Those were my new projects for knitting. I have one crochet project. I started doing the pattern that I have mentioned before, and it's this one, the Crochet Granny Stool cover, the free pattern on Ravelry, and I'm crocheting this for my mum, who has got a stool in her living room that has seen better days, and she'd like a cover for it. Now I have started working on it. The bottom of her stool, the cushion, is this sort of pale colour, so I'm hoping it'll work out all right. When I was working on it last night, I thought it was quite dark and I wasn't sure she'd like it. I think she might want the actual crochet to be closer together because it's quite gappy, but maybe she won't. I don't know. Anyway, I'll take it round to her. She can see whether she likes it, and if she does, I'll carry on. And if she doesn't, I'll stop and I redo it, or she might not like the colour, or I don't know. Right. Moving on to sewing. I am wearing the dress that I have been working on. It's the new look K6262. This option here, and I had some issues with it because there were there were some problems with the material, but I persevered, and here it is. I shall stand up again and show you. I tilted it down to the screen, and here it is. It's slightly too big, and it could be, like I said, if I could be like a mannequin in a shop and have the bulldog clips on the back, I think that I could walk around like this and not show you the back, and that would be fine. I did grade it out because I'm narrower, I'm smaller on the top than I am the bottom. I graded it out to be larger, so that's made it bigger again. I will make it again, but next time I'll stick to the size it says, and I'm going to go down a size everywhere anyway, because I'm quite narrow, I think, and I could probably get away with a size down. I think every time I measure any pattern for myself, I should go down a size because they always seem to be too big. But I'm going to do another one of those, and I've got some nice material. It's not my next project, but I will be doing another one. My next project is I'm going to use this material, which is called Daisy Chain, and I got it from Fabrics Galore. And it's a royal blue with this is jersey, but it hasn't got much stretch, and that's what this pattern calls for. It's the Tilly and the Buttons Coco, and I'm going to do this option here. I have made one before because I've made my daughter one, and I used a flamingo scuba fabric for hers, and so I know I can do it. It's easy to make. So that's my next project. I'm hoping to get that finished by next weekend because I'm away in Bournemouth and I'd like to take it with me if I can. Right, I had something exciting in the post this week. Problems with this computer. I borrowed this laptop off my daughter, and the actual memory on it is full. So I've got an external memory, but I can't link the camera to the external memory, so it keeps running out. So I'm going to have to keep an eye because I keep talking to myself. Nothing new there, but still. Right, so I had some post this week that was quite exciting. I took part in a challenge last year that ended on the 31st of October, which was the CosyCardi challenge that Amanda from I Sew A Lot and the Stitch Sisters, Nikki and Rachel organised, and you had to sew a cardigan and put your pictures up on Instagram and hashtag CosyCardi challenge. And I did the Muse pattern, the Jenna pattern, which I have here. So I made this one. I hadn't done a cardigan before, and I didn't know if I'd be able to do this one. You had gathering here, and well, it was supposed to be buttons, but this jersey is really quite thin. I'd learned how to do the buttons and the buttonholes on my sewing machine, so I was quite looking forward to doing it. And I sewed the buttons on with my machine. When I came to do the buttonholes, the machine kept chewing the fabric because it was so thin, so I had to sew on these little poppers, not even the proper snaps, they were just poppers, and I had to sew them on the back just so that I could put it together. I have worn it, but this, like my dress, is too big, so I'm definitely going down a size in future. So anyway, I sewed that cardigan, so I was quite pleased with that, and I put my entry on onto the Instagram tag, and I won a prize. So I won some pattern weights from Danny of Oh So Quaint. Now, at the time when I won, Danny was ever so busy. She had lots of orders for Christmas in, and she was inundated. And I said, don't worry about me. It's very kind of you to donate a prize in the first place. Get your orders sorted first, because that's your priority. That's where you make your money, and I can wait. So anyway, this week they arrived, and she wrapped them so beautifully. They came. There's a little card in there saying congratulations on winning. And that's the card there. So I said she'd wrapped them so nicely, I wasn't going to open them until I did this. So I'm just going to tilt down and see if I can, oh, I don't know. We can open them down here together to see my nice prize. This is exciting. I love winning things. And here they are. They are so lovely. Look at them. They are. I can't wait to use those. I could eat them. They look so nice. Maybe I'll use them on my cocoa. That's my next pattern. So thank you, Danny. And she's oh so quaint on Etsy, and she's doing remarkably well, and they're beautiful. So thank you very much, and thank you to Amanda and to Rachel and Nikki for organising these so long, and for me for winning a prize. Right, so that's all that out of the way. Now, the next thing, or the next section, is supposed to be my cooking section, A Year with Mary. And oh, there's the book. And I've been trying really hard, but I've decided that I'm shelving this section. So this is because I did make a recipe this week. I made the what did I make? The lemon drizzle tray bake out of this book, and I'll insert a picture to prove that I did make it. But unfortunately, my editing skills are still not very good, and I tried and I tried. I know in my head how I wanted it to look, and I couldn't get it to look how I wanted it to. I filmed the process of making it, and I didn't like it. So I thought, I spent so long trying to sort it out, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I thought I'm going to leave it for a while until I get better at doing these videos and learn more about the editing software, and then perhaps I'll bring it back. But until then, I'm scrapping that part, so I'm sorry about that. So the next section is Walkies with Charlie, and I'm not getting rid of that. Although we've had awful weather lately, we have had the odd nice day, and I have managed to take her out. She's hiding downstairs at the moment because she's probably worried that I'm going to take her out again. She hates it in the rain. So last episode we went for a walk to Merthyr Mawr sand dunes. Now this episode I've done another walk which is on the sand dunes are next to the Ogmore River, so I've done a walk this time the other side of the river, and it's along the Glamorgan Heritage Coast, and you walk along the river to Ogmore by Sea. And when you're walking along the river, I've taken a few photos from our walk across the river to the sand dunes so that you can see those from the other side, and then a couple of shots of the sea. So that's basically it. So I shall insert those photos here, and I hope you all have a nice 2 weeks, and I shall see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for watching. and I hope these videos are getting slightly better, although it's a bit stop and start today with the memory of the laptop, so hopefully I will sort that by next time, and look forward to seeing you and speaking to you all again soon.